Hi, thanks for joining me again on these videos. I'm just doing a short sort of series just on general anxieties that might sort of have bigger impacts on you than that you may not sort of realize. Another one that we've talked about, another one that I want to talk about is really just sort of like what I would define as sort of like world events or big events that maybe you have no control over, but they certainly have an impact on how you're feeling and what you're doing as well in terms of how you're reacting to things. Um, some of these things can be, conflicts between nations. Obviously, we've got, based on the current time, we've got conflicts in Ukraine and Russia. We've also got Israel and Palestine going off, and there's other conflicts around the world as well between people of different countries. These can have impacts on you based on whether you've got family there, whether you're impacted directly or indirectly, and also just on your sort of thought process around what humanity and what humanity is doing. There's also, so that's one form of, sort of large event that you may not have in control of. Sometimes there's financial events. I think at the same sort of time, there's a lot of inflation going around. A lot of the main Western countries, and there's always been high inflation in other countries as well. But this has an impact on your cost of living, and also obviously a lot of times inflation is fought by interest rates. And so that can have an impact on your mortgage or how much you have to pay on your bank loans and those sort of things. That can also then have some sort of impact on you, even though that's totally out of your control, and all you're basically doing is seeing the end result or the end impact of that in terms of higher mortgage or higher cost of food and other essentials that you might be needing to purchase. And these can have other triggers on you, that then those sort of, in terms of inflation, that can have a trigger on you in terms of financial anxiety as well, because sometimes there's also then unemployment that comes with that as well. Other big events can be, simple things like dates. I know that I have certain problems around the start of the new year and also around my birthday. There are also triggers for me. Because I'm always then sort of reviewing what I've done in that particular year, or how much I've got in terms of goals, or how much I've changed or achieved and stuff like that. So sometimes without knowing it, these certain dates can be triggers for you as well, even though they come around every year and you know they're coming. But you can sort of see your mood change because there might be something other going on at that point in time as well. These things happen all the time, and they are not something that you can potentially control. You certainly can't sort of jump over your birth date or jump over the end of the year, unless you're a very important diplomat. You're probably not going to do much about conflicts and wars that are going around the world. And also, if unless you're a major economist or potentially the Reserve Bank governor, or whatever central bank is in your country, you're not going to have a lot of impact on inflation and stuff. So these are things that are totally out of your control, and sometimes you need to sort of acknowledge that those things are out of your control. You are going to get older. There are going to be conflicts in the world, unfortunately. And we do need to sympathise with those people, and we need to understand what's going on with them. Inflation is going to happen. We are going to have periods of high inflation. We're going to have periods of low inflation, and same with interest rates, high interest rates and low interest rates. We've just been in a period at the moment where it's been very low interest rates. But these are things that are outside of our control. There's not a lot we can do about that other than be prepared, other than acknowledging that they are out of our control and trying to deal with them in the best way possible. Sometimes it is important, especially with it to do with interest rates and stuff, to talk to your bank and sort of say, what can you do? How can you continue to still pay that mortgage, but maybe have some way of making it a little bit more easier for you? So those things are it all comes down to acknowledging that some of these things are out of your control and doing what you can to do that. And that's how I've thought about those things. What is in my actual sphere of control and what is outside that sphere of control. And I might talk about that in another video as well, that sphere of control. Anyway, thanks for taking some time out of your busy day and having a listen to what I've got to say, and hopefully it's been of interest to you. Anyway, look after yourself and have a good rest of the day.